Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am your girl, Molinda Jae, and I am here to talk about the heinous crime that has happened to Mr. Tyre Nichols. This incident happened in Memphis, Tennessee. If you have not seen it already, it has made its large waves across the social media realms. So I'm going to utilize my platform and talk about this subject as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and tend to this article. This is coming from insider.com. And from what I'm reading within this article is basically a timeline of Tyre Nichols passing from being stopped by the Memphis cops to officers being charged with his red rum. If you don't know what red rum is, it is basically this word backwards. Okay. So without further ado, this is an image of the one who has passed away due to the heinous crimes that five Memphis police officers have done. Okay, so some key points. We have Tyre Nichols passed away after he was beaten by Memphis police officers. His family attorney says key investigations are underway. Police officers were fired and body cam footage is due to be released. And from my understanding, what I have seen on social media so far, I only just, tap my foot in it, or tap my toe up in it, because I had some other personal issues to tend to while this was taking place. But yeah, it's from what I just, oh goodness. And then I seen the image. It didn't take nothing but a whole millisecond, and I was just that they did him wrong. They did his family wrong. Okay. So from what my understanding, the body cam is supposed to be released at 6 p.m. today. That is Friday the 27th. So I'll have my final thoughts after I read this article. And then also the last pinpoint is there's a timeline of events as they unfolded, and I'm going to go ahead and go over it with you all. So it reads, Tyre Nichols, a 29-year-old black man, passed away 3 days after he was stopped at a traffic stop and beaten by Memphis police officers. The Memphis Police Department has not released many details about the case, but police chief Serlian? I'm just say Police Chief Davis, because I don't want to butcher nobody's name, condemned the incident as heinous, reckless, and inhumane. 5 officers have been charged with his red rum. Police were expected to release the body cam footage of the arrest on Friday, which is today, as I'm recording this, with Davis warning that the footage is shocking and will likely lead to public protests. Here's a timeline of events and what we know so far. On January 7th, damn, this was just a couple weeks ago, around 8:30 p.m., Nichols is stopped, arrested, and beaten. Memphis police officers tried to stop Nichols for reckless driving near the intersection between Rains Road and Ross Road, according to the department. A confrontation occurred as officers approached his vehicle and Nichols ran away. There was another confrontation when officers tried to arrest him, according to the police. Nichols then said he was experiencing shortness of breath and an ambulance was called, with Nichols brought to a hospital in critical condition, according to police statement. January 10th, Nichols passed away. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation announced that Nichols had succumbed his injuries. It gave no official cause of passing. And here is a picture of him who, taking a selfie in his residence. Below the picture, it says Tyre Nichols, who passed away in a hospital on January 10th, 3 days after sustaining injuries during his arrest by a Memphis police officer, is seen in his updated picture obtained from social media. So this is a recent updated picture. Okay. As of January 15, police announced first investigation. The Memphis Police Department announced that it was starting its own administrative investigation and said that Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and Shelby County District Attorney's Office were also starting an independent investigation into the use of force by Memphis police officers. On January 18th, DOJ and FBI announced another investigation. Kevin G. Rentz, the United States Attorney for the West District of Tennessee, announced that the United States Attorney Office is working with FBI and the Department of Justice as opened a civil rights investigation. On January 20th, Memphis police said 5 officers were fired. And here are the images of the 5 officers. Demetrius Haley, Tadarius Dean, Justin Smith, Emmett Martin, Desmond Mills Jr. are all facing red rum charges. Memphis police said in a statement that 5 officers were fired and that the investigation found 5 men violated multiple department policies, including excessive use of force, duty to intervene, and duty to render aid. So y'all didn't even... Let me move on, because the names of the officers as Tadarius Dean, Demetrius Haley, Emmett Martin III, Desmond Mills Jr., and Justin Smith. January 23rd, attorneys said beating lasted 3 minutes with body cam footage showing Nichols being used as a human piñata. After Nichols' family and their lawyers viewed the body cam footage from his arrest, attorney Antonio Romanucci said that officers beat Nichols for 3 minutes. Rodney Wells, Nichols' stepfather, said that no mother would have to witness what I saw today. Wells added that the footage showed Nichols repeatedly calling out for his mother, according to the Washington Post. Romanucci also said that Nichols was defenseless the entire time. Oh my gosh. Let me catch my breath, y'all. He was a human piñata for the police officers, he said. It was an adulterated, unabashed, non-stop beating of this young boy for 3 minutes. The police office chief, Davis, said the footage would be made public at an appropriate time when it would not interfere with investigations. January 24th, family autopsy shows he suffered extensive bleeding. Family attorney Crump and Romanucci told Insider that their legal team had conducted an independent autopsy of Nichols' body. We stated that the preliminary findings indicated Tyre suffered extensive bleeding caused by a severe beating, and that his observed injuries are consistent with what the family and attorneys witnessed on the video of his fatal encounter with the police on January 7, 2023, they said. And here's the image of his mother, Rovon Wells, as she cries as she's being comforted by Tyre's stepfather, Rodney Wells. January 25th, police chief calls the incident heinous, reckless, and inhumane. Police Chief Davis condemned the incident while pledging that her department would cooperate with all investigations. She said that she expects the release of the body cam footage to spark outrage and protest. This incident was heinous, reckless, and inhumane, and in the vein of transparency, when the video is released in the coming days, you will see this for yourselves. She said in a statement released late on Wednesday, "I expect you to feel what the Nichols family feels. I expect you to feel outrage in the disregard of human rights, as our police officers have taken an oath to do the opposite of what transpired on that video." January 26th, the Memphis police officers was charged with red rum. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation announced that 5 officers would be charged with 7 counts: second-degree red rum, aggravated assault, aggravated kidnapping with bodily injury, aggravated kidnapping with in possession of a pow, official misconduct, refrain, and official oppression. It added that all 5 were in custody with investigations ongoing. 4 of the 5 men have been released after posting bond as early as Friday morning. So they 4 out of the 5 men have been released after posted bail as of earlier today, as I'm recording, and that was from CBS News that reported that. On January 26th, Biden says Nichols shows the justice system needs work. I'm just gonna roll my eyes with his content, with his comment. We all been saying this from day one, and is plain. And oh my gosh, got my head itching because let me finish this. Oh my goodness. President Biden posted a message on Twitter saying that he and the First Lady extend our hearts to the family of Tyre Nichols. They deserve a swift, full, and transparent investigation. Tyre is a painful reminder that we must do more to ensure that our justice system lives up to the promises of fairness and dignity for all. January 27, police said they can't sustain reckless driving claim. Davis, the police chief, told CNN that the Memphis police have not been able to sustain that Nichols was driving reckless, which is why the officer said he was pulled over in the first place. She again condemned the officer's action, saying, "I was outraged. It was incomprehensible to me. It was unconscionable. I don't think I've witnessed anything of that nature my entire career." January 27th, which is today, the U.S. prepares for protests with body cam footage due. Washington, D.C. police said that it has fully activated all sworn members in advance of possible protests. The San Francisco Police Department also said it was preparing for protests. The Atlanta Police Department told CBS News that it was preparing to support peaceful protests in our city because a couple of days before, they had also endured their own protesting because of a protester being, pow by the police, and pow by the police as well. So they probably going to go the peaceful route with the protests because they've already experienced protests. That was a signal then that stuff was about to happen. And then there's also protesters going around the United States as well as the world as well for other reasoning, but it's just the synchronistic of these protests because we as a people, we tired of the bull crap that you are putting on us. Like, it's getting real redundant at this point, and y'all are doing this and on plain sight, and y'all acting like ain't nobody. Y'all playing with our emotions, and y'all are playing with our intelligence as well. Like, we don't peep game of what y'all are trying to do. And then also there was we also had the Black Lives Matter cousin that had passed away too in the hands of officers as well due to cardiac arrest. And however, they used tasers to try to reprimand him and all that sorts of things. But I believe in the midst of what happened with him, with the tasers and a whole lot of officers trying to, put the handcuffs on, that resulted to his passing. But there wasn't much outrage on that end, and it's probably because he's linked to the Black Lives Matter lady, and they already got like a bad rep as well. But I believe then that was a signal to some unrest that was about to happen. And since this happened on the 7th of January, which was like 2 weeks ago, literally 20 days ago, it's it's okay. Let me finish this last sentence. The last sentence, it just says Biden and Davis previously said that they expect protests and urge participants to keep them peaceful. Okay, so yeah, that ends that. Now my thing is, I like how swiftly it's going for the most part. And of course, the officers that are involved, they are entitled to their civil human right on whatever the process is exactly when it comes to the justice system and you being detained and all that other stuff, because you are innocent until proven guilty. But since this video is about to come out in less than, I'll say about 3 hours. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll say about 3 hours, because it's almost about to be 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, my time. So, and Memphis is in Central Standard Time, so more likely it's going to come out on 6 p.m. Central Standard Time and not Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be 7 p.m. for Eastern Standard Time, and 6 and probably 4 Pacific Time. So at this time, and just by reading this article here of the sequence of events happening, and also seeing that image of him lying in the bed, injured and basically lifeless at that point, and seeing his mother at the bedside crying, being in just basically in horror and grieving mode, and just how they are explaining how heinous this crime, and that's been a repetitive word in this article: heinous, inhumane, and the list goes on. As much as I don't want to see that video, I'm probably gonna have to see that video, just like everybody else is probably gonna have to see that video. And I'm just gonna say this: of course, the emotions is going to be probably boiling 38 hot, as we say down south. There's going to be a lot of people 38 hot, ready to come out swinging. But I would rather for us to do a peaceful protest than rather, tearing up stuff, because whether tearing up stuff like how the riots was back then when Rodney King had got beaten by the police, and probably further before Rodney King with being because there was a riot before Rodney King happened as well, if I'm not mistaken. There was a riot before Rodney King. I believe it happened in 87, based on doing some research, and then following through, it was another riot because and it was in the midst of I want to say it was in the midst of the O.J. Simpson trial as well with Rodney King, because that's when the recorders had just started. That's when the recording cameras started coming out, right? And that's how the person was able to capture that footage of Rodney King getting beaten by the officers as well. That sparked another outrage and another protest as well. So yeah, y'all, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm scared to even watch it, and I'm also scared of what's about to happen, because I have no words. I'm very speechless right now. And the fact, all I have to say is, the police departments, there's got to be some, I don't know if y'all updated the training or not, because we're dealing with people that you're not only that's regular people, but you also have to deal with people that has mental illness as well. And of course, if you don't have like a person that is like that's not dispatched along with you all to help de-escalate the situation, it can like again turn to the worst. But the fact that he got beaten by his own kind per se this time, and I'm just thinking back in the head, what made y'all come to the conclusion for you all to do that? What was really going on in y'all minds at the time when it happened? And why it had to go so far to where y'all wanted to end his life? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like showing no remorse at this point, and no compassion, no sense of decency. And I get it, he ran away, but you tried to be a person that got pulled over by the police, and you don't know what's gonna happen, and you just praying that all goes well and you can be able to go home at night and not have to worry about being buried 6 feet under. That's the questions that be running through our melanated minds whenever we get pulled over by the police. Is like the inevitable. It's like a waiting on. It's basically like, I don't know how to explain it, because I've been pulled over a couple of times, and my heart, even though I got the right stuff, license, insurance, and all that, I get scared. Okay. So I can only imagine how scared he was when he got pulled over and whatever transpired that happened. But according to what the representative of the family was saying today, while they went live earlier, around probably 11ish, probably like around 11ish Central Time. From what I gathered from that live today earlier was that they have like aerial footage to capture what's going on in the city, and luckily they were able to capture what happened during that time between the officers and with Mr. Nichols. So again, like, feel free to leave your comments down below of what you all think about the situation so far. And of course, I'm just going to continue to send healing and loving energy to the family as they endure this unforeseen circumstance at the time. And that, and far as like us as a collective, as much as we want to like tear up things within the first sight, and our emotions are probably going to be boiling to a point where we do want to go outside and wreck some stuff up. Before y'all even do that, just take a deep breath, take some deep breaths, let all your anger, your frustration out, feel the emotions that you feel, but don't let it seep in to where you're going to do the unthinkable. Okay. Because we still want people to return back to home with their families, so they can continue to live on their day-to-day lives, because at the end of the day, this mother doesn't have their child anymore. Okay. And we just gonna have to keep ourselves uplifted, continue to raise each other's vibrations up, love one another, and also keep in mind that we are going to stay on these folks. We gonna make sure he gets justice, okay? Because he's not here to defend himself. He was already not able to defend himself when this was happening to him. So we gonna have to take the torch for him and make sure that he gets his justice as he is no longer with us in the spirit, in the physical realm. Okay. So without further ado, like I said, feel free to leave your comments down below in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff, yada yada yada. Okay, but other than that, like I said, always remember to love thyself, know thyself, soothe thyself so you can heal thyself, and don't forget to breathe as you are watching that video. If you gotta step away and catch some fresh air, do that and then come back and continue watching the video. But brace yourself, because just as many times they are saying it within this article and how they're saying it in the news outlets that it is bad and it's worse than Rodney King, just take a deep breath. Okay, take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath as you are watching it. Okay, but keep yourselves, keep loving on yourselves as you keep loving on others. Okay, and with that being said, I'm gonna leave y'all to it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.